First, let's pay homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Zeng Kung, to the 16 Dhamma King Karmapa, and Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the greatly merciful and compassionate Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Sumo, Tuten Siti Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples, disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today are the Chief Secretary of the Taiwan government, Mr. Zheng Peifu and Mrs. Zheng, a council from Nantou County, Ms. Huang Wenju, from the Zhongshan Medical College Affiliated Plastic Surgery Department, the head of the department, Ms. Dr. Zhen Shenlong, and Jupiter School Scholars Group, the distinguished Professor Wang Jingxian, Professor Wang Li, Professor Cai Guoyi, Professor Gu Haoxiang, Professor Ye Shuwen, and Dr. Yu Jiangchen, and the medical group, the nurse, Ms. Huang and Ms. Guo, and General Manager of the Jingyi Enterprise, Ms. Zhang Yizhen.
My university same classmate, Zhu Jinshui 先生及夫人陈哲霞女士，华国功德会总会长常荣上师。
And the president of the Worldwide Lotus Light Charity Society, Master Chang Ren, and director of the Taiwan Lotus Light Charity Society, Mr. Li Chunyang. Producers for the Geni Diansang Xingden, Ms. Rebecca Xiaqi. And the host for Lamdre and the Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment, Master Lien Hai.
My sister Lu Guoyin 女士 and the husband. 感谢甘慧勋师姐打斋10万元。
And thank you to Dharma Sister Gan Hui Xin for her donation of 100,000 NT dollars, and Miss Yang Su Hui and family for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars. Good afternoon, everybody. How do you do?
Selamat siang, selamat datang. Good afternoon and domo konnichiwa. Sauji. Hola, amigo. Te quiero mucho.
Today, we perform the Homa of the greatly merciful and compassionate Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And there's no need for me to say more about Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Everybody knows of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is the head of all bodhisattvas. And we can also say of the 8 great bodhisattvas, the first one is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And her vow is truly great. And in the past, she was the Tathagata of the right Dharma radiance, which means she was a Buddha before. And also Pu Guang Gong De San Wang Fo. And of the Guan Yin, there's Mahajundi, which is also called the Jundi Guan Yin. And in the Universal Gate Sutra, there were 32 forms of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and actually there are even more than that. There are so many emanations of Kuan Yin. There was innumerable of them, including the one that in Tibet, it's the spiritual center of the 4-armed Kuan Yin. Like Dalai was an emanation of the 4-armed Kuan Yin. Also Karmapa. The whole Tibet is the spiritual center of the 4-armed Kuan Yin. And in China, in Zhejiang, Mount Putuo, that's the spiritual center of the South Sea Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. My mother was also an emanation of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Very special. There are many, many Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas, and there were many, many of her emanations. And she was the Buddha of the past and now a Bodhisattva. And there are so many mantras too. And just now, for the ritual, that was green Tara, the home Tara of the 21 Taras. So, the 5th Tara of the green Tara. Actually, green Tara and white Tara and the home Tara are all emanations of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. In Tibet, we have said that the tear of her right eye becomes white Tara, and the tear of the left eye, tears that were shed out of compassion towards sentient beings, that's green Tara. So white Tara, green Tara, home Tara, they're all emanations of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And they save multitudes of sentient beings. We can say the whole earth, or in Taiwan. And we've seen the Kuan Yin Sara. So like the Kuan Yin shrine, at the center is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And she has 2 attendants. One is San Cai, and the other is Liang Ni. And in the sky, there was the peace bird. in his mouth, in the bird's mouth. It's holding Guan Yin's chanting beads. So in the Guan Yin shrine, sometimes there's one deity or three deities, or two deities, three. Like the three deities, sometimes it include the Ma Zhu and then Guan Sheng Di Jun. And for the Ma Zhu, there is the 1,000 miles ears and 1,000 miles eyes. And for the Guan Sheng Di Jun, there's Zhou Chang and somebody else. And for Guan Yin, there's no need to introduce anymore. Wherever you see, wherever you hear is about Guan Yin Bodhisattva. It's the greatest. It's incredible. The sentient beings that she has saved, and the vows are the greatest. And the three sages of the West, at the center Amitabha Buddha, and the head of the Bodhisattvas, Guan Yin Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta. So that's the three sages of the West. So Amitabha Buddha, Guan Yin and Mahastama Prapta. So Guan Yin is truly great. So I truly admire Guan Yin Bodhisattva, the greatest Bodhisattva. And she's also the most compassionate. If you can pray and see Guan Yin Bodhisattva, then we can say that any calamities will be eradicated. So there are many women that would have Guan Yin Bodhisattva as the yidam. But for men, like Kamaba, His Holiness Kamaba is the emanation of the four-armed Guan Yin, Dalai Lama too. So in Tibet, the four-armed Guan Yin is very popular. And the six-syllable mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, every Tibetan would know and how to chant. And if you watch the movie of Qigong, or the biography of Qigong, and Qigong chanted Om Mani Padme Hum, and he was the Zijue Luohan or Arhat. If you read the Qigong biography or novel, he always chanted Om Mani Padme Hum. And when I chant His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, I asked him, and he told me that he only practiced two Dharma. In the morning, he would practice Tara, and at night, he would practice the Dharma Protector, which was Mahakala. My guru practiced Mahakala at night and Tara in the daytime. And Tara includes white Tara, green Tara, 21 Taras, and all the Taras are included. And also Guan Yin Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta. They're all Taras. All the Buddha mothers, the same. The highest Buddha mother is the Prajna Buddha mother. She was also Guan Yin Bodhisattva. You can say that. Guan Yin Bodhisattva is known by each and every Buddhist. So the 16 Karmapa, His Holiness practiced Tara, and I asked why. Actually, Tara is the most compassionate and it's easiest to gain spiritual union with. So Atisha, he went to Indonesia to seek Dharma, and the Dharma that he got was the generating bodhicitta, and especially transmitted to him was the green Tara Dharma. So Atisha got the green Tara Dharma in Indonesia and then went back to India and then went to Tibet. The first one who went to Tibet, of course, was Guru Padmasambhava. And then second was Atisha. It should be like that, right? Guru Padmasambhava was earlier. And then Atisha. And the Dharma that he spread was Taras and generating bodhicitta. So Atisha was truly great. So that's the emanation of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And I once had the vision of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva that left a very strong impression. That's unforgettable. But please don't blame me. Why? It's unforgettable. Because I saw Kuan Yin Bodhisattva with layers of celestial garments, with all the jewelries, beautiful jewelries, and she turned her head and smiled. It's truly unforgettable. You need to remember her face. No such face exists in the human world. When I saw Kuan Yin Bodhisattva with the layers of celestial garment in front of my head, in front of me, and then turning her head and smiled. All the women on earth are like garbage. You know, garbage. So the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva that I saw that time, oh, it's truly unforgettable for all my life. But I don't remember her face because I never saw such beautiful face in all my life. It's really, truly, extremely. Thanks to her to resolve one of my problems at my most difficult time and most problematic issue. And I had the vision of her, and then I had hopes. My heart was filled with hopes. And the evening after I had that vision, there was news from above that my problem was resolved. So that man, that Guan Yin Bodhisattva, showed it to you first, and she helped to resolve a truly problematic and difficult issue. So that's why she appeared in front of me. And I hope that the merciful and compassionate Guan Yin Bodhisattva would appear in my visions more frequently, so that all my problems and issues of the world would disappear. So if in your spiritual cultivation you have a vision of Guan Yin Bodhisattva, if you're sick, you will definitely be cured. And your calamities, disasters will pass, and all your problems will be resolved. So you pray for the appearance of Guan Yin Bodhisattva, appearing in front of you, helping you resolve all the problems of true Buddha disciples, your afflictions, your hindrances, your calamities, your karma, they're all completely eradicated. So it is truly marvelous to practice Guan Yin as your yidam, and you pray to her every day and tell her all your problems. Chant her mantra, form her mudra. And we know Guan Yin's mudra, and the most common one is the lotus mudra. And the most common mantra is Om Mani Padme Hum. And also the divine mantra of the white robe master, and also the wish fulfilling mantra, and also the mantra of the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms Guan Yin Bodhisattva. Especially this mantra is the Mahakaruna Dharani for the Holy Compassion Water. Someone at the beginning of the Republic. Do you know Zhou Bang Dao? No? It's earlier time. His wife was called Zhou Wang. Zhou Yang Guiqing, the wife. Maybe Zhou Yang Huiqing's this name is not exactly right. The right name? What's the official title? He held an official post. What was it? They were still searching the internet. At the first year of the Republic, Zhou Bang Dao, in education. Zhou Yang Huiqing's Great Compassion Holy Water was very famous because his wife chanted the Mahakaruna Dharani's water, and many people lined up to get her water, her holy water. And how did she get it? I think I have written an article about this, Zoyang Hui Qing, because Guan Yin Bodhisattva appeared to her and told her, in order for you to gain, so water in the middle of the river. Guan Yin told her, you get the water from the middle of the river and then you chant the Mahakaruni Dharani, and then the water will be very miraculous. And this lady did not know what that water is. So one time she was on the boat with her husband, Mr. Zhou Bangdao, and by coincidence there was another boat next to them. And when the two boats are proceeding, and there was like a white line between the two boats, and all of a sudden she thought about the words of Guan Yin Bodhisattva. It's like the water of the line at the middle of the river. And then she saw that and she was inspired, and immediately she got the water of that line between the two boats in the middle of the river. And she took a bucket and filled a lot of water, and then she continually chanted the Mahakaruna Dharani on this water, and then anybody drink this water, the holy water, it's all very responsive. So this is the legend of the one line in the middle of the river, and I wrote about it in my book. And this is the Great Compassion Holy Water of the Zoyang Hui Qing. So after she got the water from the middle of the river, and then she chanted the Mahakaruna Dharani, and everybody that took the water was cured. If they were sick, they were cured. If they had problems and calamities, and you could use it for the protection or the eradication of calamities. So Guan Yin Bodhisattva is very responsive. She didn't tell me about this one line of water in the middle of the river. If she did, then I would try to get that water and recite the Mahakaruna Dharani and then help all beings. But in reality, Guan Yin Bodhisattva has given me a lot. She's helped me greatly. I have gained spiritual union with Amitabha, and then Amitabha's retinues and assembly are all in spiritual union with me, with Guan Yin Bodhisattva, with Mahastama Bodhisattva, and there are so many Guan Yin Bodhisattvas. Such a great Guan Yin Bodhisattva. And the greatest mantra was that of the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms Guan Yin Bodhisattva, the Mahakaruna Dharani, the great compassion mantra. So I shared this legend or the story of the line of water in the middle of the river. So of course, Grandmaster also made the vow in all my life for over 40 years. I wish I could be like Kuan Yin Bodhisattva to salvage sentient beings. To save sentient beings until my arms are weak. However, Kuan Yin Pusa is Yen Tong. There's the palace of the omnipresence. That's the palace of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Because she's omnipresent, that's why she can emanate as the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So wherever you pray to her, she would appear. So you help sentient beings in the sea of sufferings. The 5 letters were said at the end of the Universal Gate Sutra. What is the first verse? I learned how to chant in the past, and I would chant really long one. But what is the first verse? The world honored one with wondrous signs. Now I ask once more, for what conditions is the son of the Buddha is called Kuan Yin? It's the sutra that I often chanted before. And the place that I learned is at the Guru, the teacher chant of the Sheng-Yen temple in Taichung. You can chant the long one or the short one, or the medium one, or the puppet style, puppet show style. It's just a joke. 什么是歌仔？
我就会唱16种的唱法。
So I know how to chant 16 styles. So let me show you.
Put Ade Nam Mo Amidofo. 这就是一种。
That's one style.
Put Ade Nam Mo Amidofo. 对不对？这就是一种，那就一直循环着，一直唱。
So you continually repeat it, and you know the ones that you often chant. That's one kind. So there are many already, but there are more. So if you can chant Amitabha 10 times in full concentration every day for 10 times, and then at the time of death, Amitabha would appear and guide you to the Buddha land. That's very convenient. So Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is the head of all Bodhisattvas next to Amitabha Buddha. So Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and Mahastamaprapta and Amitabha Buddha are with the same greatness. Once you gain spiritual response with Kuan Yin, then you would gain spiritual response with Amitabha. Once you gain spiritual response with Amitabha, it's the same that you gain spiritual response with the whole Western paradise and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Once you gain spiritual response with Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, it's the same as you gain spiritual response with all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the Western paradise. So I hope that you practice the best you can Kuan Yin Yidam until you gain spiritual response. Then that would be incredible. Then it's the same that you're an emanation. It is as if that you're an emanation of the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Now we will talk about the 4 empowerments and the 4 gurus or masters. And we just briefly mentioned this. We've talked about this before. And the highest Vajra Acharyas is the Vajracharyas who ultimately shows the pure true nature amidst the true suchness. That's the Vajradaya Vajracharyas.
这里我讲如是，如是也就是这样子。
The suchness, that's how it is. And the Vis Empowerment Gurus are referred as the outer masters. So the first empowerment is the Vis empowerment, and they are called the outer masters. Why? Because they understand the Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anuttara Yoga Tantra. So there are 4 masters corresponding with the 4 tantras. Then if you comprehend all of them, then you would be Vajradhara Vajracharyas. And then the third one is the great Vajracharyas. And then if you know the first 2, that would be called the Vajracharyas. And if you just know the first one, the first level, then that would be called just a guru. So 4 kinds of masters, like 4 levels: the first level, second level, third level, fourth level. And empowerments. 4 empowerments and 4 masters and 4 meanings. So it's mentioned here. Why the Vis Empowerment Gurus are called outer master? Then the other 3 kinds of gurus can be referred as the inner masters, secret masters, and the ultimate masters. So those are the names, 4 kinds. And the reasons are, of course, the purification base of each empowerment is different. So Vis empowerment, like the 4 preliminary practices, the deity yogas, so the power of the purification base is different. So the power of purifying your karma is different. So most typical gurus who give you Vis empowerment is to purify your speech, body and mind, is to purify tangible forms. That's just the ordinary masters. Of course, there are many different ways of explanation by different tantric masters. But in Lamdre, that's the answer. The purification base of the Vis empowerment is the channels in the body, which is the most coarse of the 3 higher empowerments purification base, like channel seats, etc. So the power is least, the most coarse empowerment. It is also easiest to understand, like forming mudra, form a mudra, visualize, form the mudra to represent the body, and reciting the mantra. That's the power of the purification. That's what it meant. But if I explain it, so the outer empowerment is the deity empowerment. And then the second level is the inner tantra empowerments, which is the empowerments for the channels, light drops and energy. And you use the red flower and white flower to empower. The white flower represents the white body, and the red flower represents the red body. Those are in the area of the inner empowerments of the qi channels and light drops. And the third level is the secret empowerment, which is the empowerments for the highest Yoga Tantra, or the Maha-Yoga Tantra, or the empowerment for the Yoga of one taste. That's the third level. So, if it is in the development stages, and you practice your body, the qi channels and light drops, and then the next level, that's the empowerment of the highest Yoga Tantra, which is the empowerments of the whole body's qi channels and light drops. And then the last empowerment is to generate light. And you have attainments in your inner fire practice already, that you already have light, already have fire, so you can generate light, so your body already generates light. So that's entering into the reality, that you use this light to enter into the Buddha nature. So that's the ultimate empowerment. And the third level empowerment we all know. The highest Yoga Tantra empowerment is the touch empowerment. It's very secret. It's empowerment one by one, not done in groups or in public. That's impossible. Mostly for deity empowerments, that's the base empowerment, the first level empowerment. So the banner empowerment is typically also for the first level empowerment. So we just change the vase into the banner, because it's hard to perform, to confer the empowerment one by one. We have tens of thousands of people. So to do it 10,000 times, that's going to take forever. So just giving blessings on the heads already incredible. One time, the Gongtang Chang Rinpoche performed the Kalachakra ceremony in Qinghai, and there were 20 or 30,000 Tibetans or people attending his Kalachakra ceremony. And at the Gansu grassland, he gave the blessings on the head, and toward the end he fainted. He fainted and dropped to the ground. So if I confer the vase empowerment one by one like this, so I placed it on top of your head, and then the next one 10,000 times. You can try and see. And my arm will be frozen. So don't think that the vase is light, but if you do it repeatedly, then you will be tired. That's why the Rinpoche fainted at the end. So there was such empowerment. So the secret empowerment is called the inner master. Why is it secret? Secret empowerment, which means it's inconspicuous. Because what you see, once you gain spiritual response with the Yidam, then you're guaranteed to be reborn into the Western paradise, the Buddha lands. But for the inner Tantra, and you practice the Qi channels and light drops, and if you have attainments, then you entered into the third highest yoga tantra. That's the touch empowerment, and that's the empowerment of your whole body. And with that kind of empowerment, your skin pores would open. And then with the highest yoga tantra empowerment, you would generate light. And then once you generate light, your whole body becomes light, and then you merge. So you're not just going to the Buddha lands, you can attain Buddhahood directly in this body, in this lifetime. So with the ultimate empowerment, that's the empowerment for the Buddhahood in this lifetime. And then with the empowerment, you become light and you directly attain Buddhahood. That's the highest in Tantrayana. So that's truly great, truly wonderful. So third level empowerment and above are very secretive. Because the purification base of the secret empowerment, which are the channel seeds, are hidden inside and inconspicuous. And the wisdom empowerment guru is referred as the secret master. That's third level empowerment. Now the secret empowerment is the inner tantra. Wisdom empowerment is third level. The purification-based ambrosia is deeply hidden inside. It's like a secret, very secretive. And the fourth empowerment guru is referred as the ultimate masters, because the purification base of this empowerment can circulate and govern the hidden wisdom energy of the channel seeds and ambrosia. And because these are the ultimate purification base, they can purify all four levels of empowerments, paths, realizations, missions, and fruits. So that's why they're called the ultimate. And this is the table of the four kinds of empowerments and masters. So outer empowerment, inner empowerment, wisdom empowerment, and then or the highest yoga tantra empowerment and great professional empowerment. So they're different names, but actually they're the same. Four kinds of empowerments. For the Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anuttara Yoga Tantra. So the highest Yoga Tantra is the same as the highest one. So once you look at this table, then you would understand about the four levels of empowerments, four kinds of masters, and their meanings. So once you gain response with the raised empowerment, then you would become an emanation Buddha, or Nirmanakaya Buddha. So that's the Buddha in physical body. Once you gain spiritual response with the inner tantra, then you can become Sambhogakaya Buddha. Once you gain spiritual response with the secret empowerment, then you would become the Dhammakaya Buddha. And if you gain spiritual response with the highest, the ultimate empowerment, then you would become the Buddha nature Buddha. So there's this joke. The former boyfriend is getting married and sent me an invitation. And I was doubtful. I was hesitating, but I went. And at the wedding party, I saw 5 cool dudes, cool men. and they always accompanied me from beginning to end. And at the end, I asked them, "Do you like me?" And they were shy in answering. Oh, we were the guards, security guards, by the order of the groom, to always follow and watch you. And most importantly, afraid that you're creating problem, making troubles. So this joke is very meaningful. I had a girlfriend before in the Guofang Medical College and live in Zhanghua, Qiushui. In the book called Meng-Yen Xiao-Yi, and also many books I wrote about her. And her family name is Li. And in our correspondence, lastly, she said, we had a date, and I was about to get married. I sent an invitation to her, and in her letter, she once said, if I get married, then she will definitely attend. So if I get married, she will definitely attend. And I was so stupid. She said, one day, if one day you get married, I will definitely attend. And actually that's what she meant, was she wanted to get married to me. But when I was getting married with Lu Lixiang, I sent an invitation to her. And so she sent me a blank piece of paper with 5 question marks. And today I finally understood, after reading this joke. She wanted to marry me because she said that one day when you get married, I will definitely be there. So that's why today, when I explain about these 4 kinds of masters, you have to understand. Each one of them is like a wedding. The small wedding, medium wedding, big wedding, the biggest wedding. So Qiushui village of Zhanghua. We're about the same age, so it's okay to talk about it. So, Qiushui Alley number 1, the house, the address. That's her house. The biggest secret. Her family name is Li. I have many boyfriends in Zhanghua, no, girlfriends. Several. Sorry. So that's why men never understand women. This is from the Guohuang Medical College.
朋友买了一幅书法放在家里，
A friend
他老
bought
婆
a
很高兴，
calligraphy,
他也很高兴，
and his
从
wife
此
was
一家人
happy,
过得
and he's
幸
also
福
happy,
快乐。
and they
美
live
满
happily
的
ever
生活。
after.
他老婆从右边念，他
And the
从左
wife
边
reads
念，
from the right, and he reads from the left.
小两口的日子其乐融融，
And
书法
they
是
are
横
very
写的，
happy.
写
And
作
the calligraphy
太
was
太怕
horizontal.
我，
And it said,
从左边念，
wife afraid of me. And reading from the
是
left,
太太怕我，对不对？
wife
从右边
is
念
afraid of me.
是我怕
And
太
if you
太，
read from the right, that would be that I'm
这书法
afraid
很
of
好，
the wife.
两个人都可以
So good
都可以念，
writing,
这
both
就是
like
圆满，
like.
在佛法里面讲圆满，
So in Buddha Dharma, we call that perfect.
最终的就是大圆满观点。
And the ultimate one is the empowerment of the great perfection.
美女问大师，大师啊，
The beautiful
我觉
lady
得
asked the
一个完
master,
美的男人应该是不会抽烟，不会
I
喝酒，
think that
不会
a
生
perfect
气。
man will
除
never
此之
smoke,
外
never
还有
drink, never get angry.
大师回
And
答，
and
是
the
还有，
master
但是
replied,
永远不会存在。
do this kind of man exist?
要
Yes,
求
no.
完美，在人间是找不到的，
There is nothing perfect in the world.
所以人
So
间有缺陷的。
that's why there's beauty in imperfection.
师尊啊，如果长得像这个
If Grandmaster
莲雅上师一样
is like Master Lian Ya,
啊，他180几公分
he's
，190哦，
no, he's
180啊。
181 centimeter.
181一样的高啊，
If I'm as tall as 181 centimeter, that would be
还有吗？不会存在。
remarkable. Then I will not exist.
我最高是163。
The tallest I ever was 163,
变成158。
and I got shorter and shorter, and now I'm 158. As you grow older, you'll become shorter. So that's my imperfection. Otherwise, that would be when I was young, I had over 10 girlfriends. So the lady asked the master,
什么叫做红颜薄命呢？
what does it mean to have
丑
a
的人
beautiful with
活多久都没有人在意，
bad luck? Because nobody cares about
丑
the
的
ugly
人
ones.
活多久都没有人在意，美的人，他如果他
But the beautiful ones, the beauties die young.
那丑的人怎么讲？
But the ugly ones, nobody care.
他是薄命而已啊。一个要受惊啊，碰到底呢。
We can't say beauties die young.
这个大
If
师
the
很
ugly
有
ones
智慧的哦。
die young, then they just die young. So the master was very wise. We have to learn from them.
有人说世界上
The beautiful lady asked the master,
99%，
someone said
都能
that
够用钱解决，但剩下的
99%
1%呢？
of things in the world can be resolved with money. How about the
大师
the
回答
1%?
当然是
The
要
master
用更
replied,
多的钱来解决呀、
and you need more money to resolve that.
要聪明一点呐、
You
不
need to
然
be
我
smart.
瓶灌顶也是这个。
If you
大
offer
圆满
this
灌
for
顶
this
你还是给
empowerment
我这个，
and for great perfection empowerment, you still offer just that.
对不对？但师尊从来不谈钱，师尊的
But
一些好处
Grandmaster never talks
师
about
尊
money.
不谈钱。本来啊，
That's
瓶灌顶
one
的
advantage.
基础嘛，
So base empowerment is only for the foundation, So it
你
is
就要 double 了。到这无上密度的
voluntary,
灌顶，
but for the inner empowerment
只有
should
你
be
一个人
double.
灌顶哦。
And the highest
无上
Yoga
密度只
Tantra,
有你
it's only
跟
one
一个
by
美女
one,
来灌顶，
only you and the beauty.
那个
So
这样
you need,
不知道多少 double 了。
I don't know how many times,
大
multiple
圆
times.
满给你，
And
大
then
圆满
great
灌顶
perfection
就是灌顶，那
empowerment,
更不得
the
了。
ultimate empowerment, that would be even
整个雷藏寺都给我
unspeakable. Even the whole temple
那
is
是
not
无
enough,
上的，无价，没有
because
什么价值。
that's unexcelled, invaluable,
师尊不
has
谈
no
这个，
price.
这个大师所
But
讲的
Grandmaster
大师
doesn't
所
talk
讲
about
的
this, like what
剩
just
下
the
一
Master
趴费
said.
当然要更多的钱。
So for the remaining
但
1%,
是
you need
事实
even
上
more
不谈
money.
钱
But Grandmaster never
你
talks
只要
about
用
money.
你的心，
As long as you use
你
your
的
heart,
心就是无价。
your intention, your mind, that's priceless.
你有心学，你
If
就是
you
无
have
价
the intention, then you are priceless.
武自在他写给我几篇文章，
Wu Zizai wrote
他
several
说他的最
articles,
近学来
and
的
he
心法
said
武自在。
it's the
他这
insights that
几
he
篇文章都
gained
写得非
from
常
his
好。
studies recently, and several of these articles
重
were
点在
well
哪里？
written. And the key
孜
point
孜
was
推荐啊！你要知道秘法不是很困难的事，
you need to know that
行之为艰。
tantric dharma
你
is
要
not very
实行
difficult.
到你成就，
And then
从开始
training
修
or
法，
practicing
一直
also
永恒
not
的
hard.
修，
And
无
you
止
need to
境的
continue
永远的那种心
forever.
才是无价。
So it's only priceless if you can persevere and continue from beginning to
所
the
以
end,
武自在写给我这
to
几
the
封信
forever.
非常好。
So the article that Wu Zizai wrote recently is very good,
可以讲他
and it
非常
grabs the key
非
points.
常非常接近的开悟。
So we can say that he's very close to enlightenment.
就差1%，
But there's only 1%
就差1%。
distance.
但是呢，告诉大家，
But let me
你
tell
只
you,
要孜孜非艰啊，
as long as you know
你
that
知道秘法不是很困难
knowing is not very difficult, that
行
practicing
之
is
为
not very
艰
difficult,
知道了，你知道了秘法，
and
没
you
有
know
去给它
that,
实践，
but
没有
if
永
you
恒的心去给它
have
实践，
learned of Tantric Dharma, but you
那
don't
真
have
的
the
是
perseverance
白白浪费
to put it
这一
into
生。
practice continually, then
所以
you
心
waste
最
your
可贵
life.
永恒的心，
So your
尤其可贵
intention
Om Mani Padme
and
Hum.
your perseverance is priceless. Om Mani Padme Hum.